Lonar, a tiny village in the central part of the state of Maharashtra. We continue to traverse along a lake under the good sunshine, reach crater by now. And a wooden log floating in water mimics the nature, the bird, the rabbit and an animal face. Now the lake water is slightly choppy along the way as we continued to walk. We entered a little thick canopy of trees, mainly evergreen trees, and suddenly saw a dead tree, creating an artistic impression of a human's old skin. A delicate and soothing sound of water stream attracts us to another wonder of live, flowing, sweet cold water stream. This is another natural wonder for sure at semi-arid zone of Lonar. The sound of water is like enchanting of mantras. This takes us to another semi-ruined temple complex of Ramgaya and Lord Shiva. It is said that we can see the game of light and shadows in Ramgaya temple, but may be time specific. The structural supporting system with little or no jointing mortars is still standing and interesting to study. The larger pieces of stones put as beams on brackets carved out of stone and resting on built stone columns is really interesting to watch. A dry water pond is next to the temple. Another surprising was finding of plants yielding tomatoes. Seeds might have been sprayed in wild, maybe by tourists or monkeys for sure. A climber needs a firm support, so a tree stem here is in action to provide the support to grow. But naturally, both tree stems and climbers will grow in size, resulting into such wonderful spirals on tree stem. And the left alone dry woody climber is now like a serpentine. What an excellent interaction between trees and climbers, resulting into such natural shapes. Naturally growing native trees here have enough support from roots holding in soil strata below, even though they grow in heights. But possibly few of non-natives or others don't know the mechanism of holding in soil through roots. So maybe transforming root systems into counterforts to provide support to remain erected. This is a point which may need more in-depth study. The jungle patch is now of semi-deciduous trees, and the time is for season of falling of leaves. Can be seen on the tree of teakwood tree with all mature yellowish leaves. The afternoon wind, little dry and lukewarm, helps the falling of leaves on the way. The exit is now near Gomukha, but be aware that there are bit steep and difficult steps to climb up or down. So please take care while negotiating this patch of access. The water overflowing through Gomukha is always along the side on steep steps, which helps us to refresh ourselves. The ashlar masonry wall is perfect in details and joinery, and this reminds us of today's similar works, how being done with few of modified detailings. While negotiating this patch, we can see a holy bath place. The grand view of Gomukha temple is in front of our eyes, and similarly the view of lake is equally breathtaking from this point of view. We pass through remains of fodders in field and a big peepal tree, on way to another lake called Ambar Lake. This lake is also formed by strike of a smaller broken piece of asteroid separated from main, who had created main Lonar Lake. This lake is small, almost circular in shape and with sweet water, and was waving in the afternoon sun. We passed through some kacha road to have bird's eye view of Lonar Lake. And the view is great. A full wide-angle view as maximum it can be thought of, presenting a crater in front of us, in panoramic, mesmerizing and drawn to the fullest beauty. And this reminds us of nature's superpower we as humans need to respect. We can see 3 distinct layers of jungle from here. Green or semi-green near water level, semi-deciduous on slopes, and dry thorny on edges and on top, which is local vegetation here. And naturally, this was a refreshing time after a brief exploration of Lonar crater. We passed through the old forms of structures in little dilapidated conditions to reach to temple dedicated to Lord Vishnu, called here as Daityasudan Temple. This was built in 10th century by King Vijayaditya from Chalukya dynasty. The temple is in rock except for some later done masonry works to support then damaged temple complex, now standing without Gopura now. The temple complex houses another temple where idol or Brahma is worshipped.
पण तेव्हा मला भूक खूप लागते. म्हणे असं कर स्वतःचं शरीर खाऊन घे. तो स्वतःचं शरीर खायला सुरुवात करतो. खाता खाता फक्त मुख शिल्लक राहतं. हां, मग देव त्याला पाहतात आणि देव त्याला वरदान देतात की आता मी तुझ्यावर विराजमान राहील कारण तुझी माझी आज्ञा पाळली. मग आता तुम्ही जिथेकडे शिवाची मूर्ती जर बघितली असेल महादेवाची तर देव असं वाघाचं कातड आहे ते जाळे त्याच्यावर बसलेले आहे आणि त्याला तोंड आहे आणि अजून लक्ष देऊन बघितलं तर तो नाराज अवस्थेत दिसेल तुम्हाला. मग देवाने परत सांगितलं की आता मी तुझ्या विराजमान तू नाराज काय पण देवा तुम्ही माझ्यावर विराजमान पण मला काही खायला मिळत नाही. मग देवाने सांगितलं की जिथे जिथे मंदिर असेल त्याच्या पायरीवर तू असशील जाताना पाप खाशील. आणि हे मंदिर लॉक अँड की सिस्टम टाईप आहे म्हणजे खालचा दगड नुसार टेकवलेला आहे त्याला त्याला 4 छिद्र आहे वरच्या दगडाला चौरंगासारखे 4 पाय आहे ते परत त्याच्यात बसवतो परत त्याला वरच्या याला छिद्र त्याला चौरंगा जॉईंट भरलेले.
We can see the distinct layers of carvings as a basis of foundation for a temple. The topmost layer indicates the people in joy, followed by a layer of Kirti Mukha, followed by a layer of Kamalini or lotus flowers, which is followed by Hamsa layer, and finally layers of good fortune signs like Gopadma and others. The temple walls are extremely beautifully done. The carvings and detailings done on wall are exciting and pleasing and no space is without any details. It will take a day or two to soak into the details and get satisfied. The internal detailing on extended pergolas appears beyond human imagination. Few of icons which can be seen here are Lord Parshurama, Varaha Avatar, Abhisarika, Mahishasur Mardini, Ram, Lakshman, Sita, and so on and so forth. The stone carved rainwater drain pipe is great, so much thoughts behind the work. This is the remains of language of stones, is attractive beyond imagination, and hats off to architects and engineers of those days who believed to build not only a temple but a cultural center in itself. Not only external walls but internally as well, detailing is superb. Ringing stones at Lonar reminded us of similar experience on Hathwitz Plateau. Local women gathering for chanting of Lord's Stuti Mantra indicates how deep is in the heart of the people the temple complex is, as part of culture in itself. This evening is more prestigious and pristine than yesterday's. With mind and heart full of joy, satisfaction, and with equally tears in eyes. Of course, for a couple of reasons, naturally.